as a first step, I want to introduce you also to the team who will be with us today, basically the technical team. So we have Carmen. So
Hello.
Carmen joined the company around 6 years ago. She started her career in juice company AMC Juices in Spain, and she's been with me for the last 6 years, and she's our beverage expert dedicated to the Middle East region, but also to international customers and working globally. Sadia. So Sadia is, I guess, known by a lot of you in the region. She's been working with a company like NFPC, but also Givaudan in the region for already quite a long time. She's based in Dubai, and she's the person you can meet and contact for any request you have. We also have with us Amy. So Amy, like Carmen, joined the team 6 years ago. She's from Colombia, and she worked with company like Nestle or Alpina, a Meiji dairy producer in the region. And she dedicated to all the application, especially all the analytical techniques, right? And finally, Rida on the technical side joined more recently the team, and he's working on the different applications. So now I believe we everybody joined the meeting. We can start with an introduction to Blendhub. So maybe a few words on what is the company. The company was founded 23 years ago as the distribution company of CP Kelco in Spain, and we are still distributing CP Kelco products in Spain, but we also dedicated to our own blends of stabilizers for the food industry and focusing mainly on three main applications, which are processed cheese, dairy products, and beverages. And at that time, the company was called Premium Ingredients, and it's not it's not the name that we have today, but premium means that from the very first beginning, we focused on the quality of the ingredients we are using. And to make it very clear from the beginning, we are not producers of any raw material. We are experts in raw material, hydrocolloids, ingredients, proteins, etc. And we are experts in the way of combining them and the way of blending them. So we take advantage of what is our knowledge of those ingredients, the control of these ingredients, the localization of those ingredients to provide the right blend for you at the best price. But we are not trying to sell you our own raw material. And this is what I believe makes us so unique and so different from other players in this field. So the company with this quality and technology in mind became very successful both in Spain and in the Middle East region. And actually, for the Middle East region, one of the stabilizers that we are using for the beverage industry is a mix of guar-gum and CMC, and we'll talk a bit more in detail about this stabilizer and new stabilizers we have in our range. But this stabilizer, basically, the guar-gum is produced in India, and basically it was taking such a long time to source this ingredient, bring it to Spain, blend it to Spain, ship it back to the Middle East, that the idea was to have our own subsidiary in India in a free area, in a free zone in Chennai or close to Chennai in Sri City. And actually the idea was to be closer to the raw material to reduce the lead time and the cost of the ingredients. And that's actually what happened. We reduced the lead time to deliver a product from 6 months to 1 month, and could also improve what is the cost of our product. And this is also the reason why we have developed a new business model, which is not only supplying ingredients, so we are not anymore or simply a product company. We are also a service company, and we design, we blend, we pack, and quality control the blends for our customers. So the way we did this was also quite different. Instead of doing or redoing the exact same factory that we had in Spain, which is a state-of-the-art blending factory, we did it actually with a completely new model, which is a blending unit that we patented and that fits into a 40-feet container. So this unit can be deployed very fast in the world, in less than 6 months, operates within 3 days when it's arrived to the facilities. That's what happened with our last deployment with our Colombian hub. And actually that allows us to be extremely flexible and very close to where it makes sense to be. To be close to the customers, close to the raw material, eliminate transport costs. So this is really the business model we have developed. And now we have factories around the globe. So we have one facility in Mexico, in a second one under construction, one in Colombia, 2 in India, one in the free area, which was the first one in a few kilometers away for the domestic market for India, and 2 in Spain. And our expansion plan go to the United States, Singapore, but also the Middle East region. And this is why we are putting so much effort to develop this region. So maybe to make it a bit more tangible, I believe we have to have a look at this at the video, and that will make you understand better what is the company right now. Good. So I believe this video shows really what Blendhub is today. Really, a lot of concepts are there. But if I would like to summarize the 3 main actions that we that our company can do for you, is basically first. I believe we have, this is the live issues. We have some issues with the video at the moment. So basically, the 3 pillars of our action is to support you to develop new concepts, speed up your development, and launch without R&D investment. Optimization of your blend safely, small and big volumes, without capex. So with the deployment of the hubs, you don't have to invest for those blends, and the expansion, because our factories are all the same around the globe with the same highest standards of quality. So as soon as you produce in one place with us, you can expand your business globally by using our our network of hubs.
So once again, welcome everyone. I see that some more people have joined since Olivier started. We would like to take this opportunity of the webinar to present to you not only some of our solutions that we have for beverage applications, but also give you an insight into some of the specific tools we use to ensure consistency of our raw materials and blends. And there's some more people coming. As most of you know, when we talk about stabilizers for beverage, we are mainly referring to a category of materials called hydrocolloids, which includes groups of functional proteins and polysaccharides like gums and starches. These materials are high molecular weight and they work by binding large amounts of water and so changing the behavior of the aqueous systems to which they are added. Some of the key benefits that using stabilizers provides you is an optimization of sensory properties, mouthfeel enhancement and flavor release, as well as shelf life stability and excellent particle and pulp suspension. Trendy particles such as edible glitter, which you can see in this video, can also be added along with other inclusions to provide great visual appeal.
This is a visual example of what we can do with stabilizers. Using a stabilizer based on gel and gun at very low use level, we can obtain a very fluid gel that maintains the chia seeds in perfect suspension, as you can see, during its shelf life and without any increase of viscosity. The clients can launch new ranges of premium beverages or covering campaigns like Christmas with fancy products.
This slide shows you just some examples of the products we have in our range. As you can see, each has a slightly different functionality. Before we recommend a product to our customers, we like to get as much information as possible on the base which the stabilizer is needed for, like its juice content, pH value, and any legal requirements in terms of label declaration, as well as the type of mouthfeel our customer is looking for. We also ask our customers about their processing conditions and what options they have to add the stabilizer, as all of these impact the performance of the stabilizer and so the product that we would recommend to you. The stabilizer that you see now, the XLB20016, is the latest in our range of stabilizers. Developed specifically to address challenges for sugar-free beverages and beverages with low pH. I'm sure Olivier will go into more detail on the great benefits of the stabilizer.
Absolutely. So the first benefit, as you said, Sadia, is this stabilizer is performing extremely well, very stable at low pH, and we're talking about pH around 3 or lower than 3, providing an excellent mouthfeel and high viscosity at low concentration. It fulfills the sugar-free legislation, which is a very important point at the moment. But it's based on the synergy that you have between guar gum and the CMC, and also the synergy you will have with xanthan gum. The reason why this stabilizer is so interesting at the moment is we have a situation that plays in our favor, right? For one reason, the guar gum at the moment is extremely low. The major reason is that the low crude oil prices. So when the crude prices are low, there's no demand for the shale gas, which is the substitute for crude, and the guar is used in the process of extraction of the shale gas. So while most of the shale gas units either are closed or functioning at extremely low capacity at the moment, no demand for guar gum for that industry, and that makes the guar gum extremely cheap and interesting product to use in our blend. On the other side, one of the stabilizers, which is mainly used in the region, it's the pure CMC. So with the current situation, a number of major CMC companies have closed their plants in India. And those companies were able to sell the CMC at quite competitive price. Now they are selling from their companies in Europe or US, and the price of the CMC is increasing. So basically what we've seen with the customers who have already used our stabilizer is that we are able to provide savings around 15% compared with their traditional stabilizer, and providing an excellent stability shelf life. We'll discuss a bit more how we study the shelf life later, but this is an extremely nice option, and I really encourage you to contact us for samples and starting industrial trials on this product, which is performing extremely well and is extremely interesting in that moment.
Okay. Now we will go through some analytical techniques that we use at Blendhub. Here we believe in the concept right first time. This is which we have invested in building analytical techniques like microscopy or chemometric brain that we will see later into both raw materials and finished product to ensure the quality processes. Now we will play a video where you can see. Using microscopy to evaluate raw materials help us to ensuring that the materials we use is not adulterated in any way. As you see in this video, its hydrocolloid has unique structure. Here CMC, Guargam, LBG, having a library of all these images in our database allow us to confirm the purity of the material. At the end of the video, we will share with you an example. Besides the more sophisticated analytical tools, we also conduct routine analysis, like we include the viscosity analysis, pH, texture analysis, density, and some functional tests. We do trials at pilot plant are done to select raw materials and formulations, together with the analytical evaluation of these finished products. All our team of technologists are trained in the art of the sensory analysis.
So this is a very, very important point, right? As I mentioned in the beginning of this webinar, we are not producing any raw material, but we are the experts in screening, analyzing all the raw material. And with our blends, we guarantee, in case of, and this is the case now with the coronavirus, right? When company is not able to submit one specific stabilizer, we have the knowledge of the stabilizers that can substitute. And in our case, you would buy a blend, and this blend will provide always the same functionality, but also you make sure about the quality of the product you have. So microscopy is a very interesting tool. It needs a lot of time to get to this knowledge. And here, for example, we have a case study of one blend that we received from another manufacturer, where for a very famous product in Spain, Dulce de Membrillo, the only stabilizer that was declared was the carrageenan, refined carrageenan, and actually there was conjact, guar, and semicaraffin inside. So we know exactly what we have in our blend, and we make sure that what you receive is the right quality and provides always the same functionality. But the microscopy is not the only or the unique technique we are using. You've seen others which are quite common, the pH, viscosity, and etc. But we have also developed another technology, a very powerful technology that we call chemometric brain, which is based on the NIR technology, so near infrared spectroscopy, which is a technology which is basically used to have quantitative information on the product, but we have developed what is the qualitative part. So this qualitative part is extremely important, and the same we are doing with microscopy. All the raw material that enter into our blend and all the finished product are screened through these techniques. So this is, as I was saying, a proprietary software that we have developed on top of this technology that really allows us to fingerprint each raw material and make sure that we have the right functionality in the blend, in the final blend. And really, when I say we go to a level of understanding which is extremely high, when we are receiving, for example, a pectin or a CMC, we can see whether it's a pectin coming from one provider or another one, if it's a fresh one, if it's an old one, which kind of pectin we are talking about. So we have built this library, the same thing with the microscopy. We have built this huge library that allows us to have a unique understanding of what is the raw material and make sure that it delivers the right functionality. So you will understand now in the video a bit more in detail what is Chemometric Brain, which is a service associated with our blends, but it's also, you can use it in your own company to screen your own raw material, as this is an independent service that we can provide.
Introducing Chemometric Brain, the world's only cloud-based software to enable near-infrared technology spectra analysis that's simple and safe, applicable within any scope of the food industry, that doesn't require specialized user training, and which delivers reliable results from the first click. Designed by a team of quality control experts at the core of an innovative food tech company, Chemometric Brain allows for data consolidation from a wide range of NIRS machines. And it's as user-friendly as systems come. Just sign in, specify what equipment you'll be connecting to, and you can run your new sample test batch against our vast set of NIRS libraries, easily identifying any content irregularities while uploading any historical data you might need. This simple test is all it takes for user companies to detect and identify raw material food fraud, assess new potential suppliers, standardize precise mixture composition levels, learn more about a product's shelf life, and classify and establish a product's physical chemical properties. As cloud-based software, it's available 24/7 and from any location around the world. As such, with Chemometric Brain, you can include all your workstations, however remote, and all data will be held in a highly secure environment with unrivaled data protection technology. We provide both a number of training options in the use of Chemometric Brain and a series of online courses in spectroscopy and chemometrics for advanced users. Chemometric Brain is highly cost-effective. For a simple monthly fee, the system can be up and running in just a few days. And if you don't have NIRS equipment, we can help you select a suitable machine. Chemometric Brain enables you to deliver a new standard in food safety and traceability for you, your customers, and your suppliers, while reducing costs and operational risks. Chemometric Brain, guaranteeing traceability in food and nutrition.
Now we will explain another key tool that we use as part of our service solution. This is a machine named Lumicizer. It allows us to observe the shelf life of the final beverage in an accelerated manner. We are doing a shelf life study in an accelerated manner. This equipment is basically a centrifuge that forces the natural evolution of a beverage during its shelf life, and measure these changes by registering the light transmission in a sample during all the analysis. These parameters are related with the particle distribution, like sedimentation, clarification of the beverage, phase separation, and the particle size of the particles we have inside the beverage. The light transmission within a matrix is affected by the particle size and the distribution of these particles. The changes in the matrix during the centrifugation allows the capture of all these differences as they are happening during the analysis. Is this therefore is a very useful tool for quality control and shelf life evaluation, allowing us to obtain a very fast prediction of stability over shelf life. For example, in 4 hours, we can predict the evolution of a sample over 12 months. And even we offer this analysis service to help the customers to predict the behavior of their launches or the routine quality control in other customers. Yeah. Now, we will see. This is a short video introducing you to the equipment, the samples preparation required, and the type of graphs and results we obtain through it. It's a simple process providing valuable results. In this case, we are analyzing mango juice drinks. We fill the cells that we will see in some seconds with a very small amount of sample. There are different cell size, from 2 to 10 millimeters. We choose one or other depending on the opacity of the sample. If the sample is very opaque, we use 2 millimeters. In this case, we are using 10 millimeter cells. This is the centrifuge, this is the equipment, the luminizer, where we put the samples to analyze. Yeah, while the traditional shelf life takes months or years to observe the behavior of a drink, and sometimes these analyses are not representative because microbiological contamination, luminizer takes few hours only to predict. Yeah, we need just a previous study. From the analysis, a spectrum is obtained of each sample as a result of the analysis, to which different statistical methods are applied to interpret the stability of the product. The key is the ability to interpret the results, and takes a lot of experience. At Blendhub, we have this capability, so we are able to interpret the results, but we have been trained during 6 years. Yeah. In this graph, we can compare the stability of all the samples we analyze. We have until 12 of each analysis. And we have many results to interpret. Yeah.
So maybe just a comment there before Carmen goes to this next slide. I mean, we use this technique to analyze the stability. That's for sure. Predict the shelf life. We also use it to recommend you what is the right dose of stabilizer you have to use. And we had a case in Spain, for example, a customer, we went to see this customer and said, listen, this is your stabilizer, this is your product in the market. We have analysis with your competition. You're the one using this level. This is extremely stable, but maybe you don't need so much stability because you have the shortest shelf life and you have the highest stability. So you might be able to reduce the cost of your recipe by reducing the amount of stabilizer you are using. So this is not only it's a very powerful technique, and the service we are providing is really wide effect.
Yeah, we are measuring the stability of our stabilizers inside the last application, even in the receipt of the customer, so we can decide with him the use level of the stabilizer they can use, and even we can reproduce the sample in our pilot plant under the same conditions, so we will be very, very representative. Yeah, we only need a deep study of the beverage before decided, but it's easy if you are trained. Yeah. And this is the kind of a spectrum we obtain. For example, the first one is the result of the analysis of an emulsion. All the fat is in the first level, and then we can the light transmission at the end of the cell. And the second is the analysis of a rice drink with juice, 2 samples. The interpretation of them and all of the detailed information you will see in the reports and the explanation to make it very clear, because we know that it is difficult to interpret. The data that we obtain from the interpretation are sedimentation velocity, percentage of clarification, instability index, or particle size distribution. Yeah. Now, in the following slides, we will see some examples of beverage you can find in the market around the globe containing Blendhub solutions, our solution. This is the first one. It's a popular drink in Spain. It's a juice drink with the milk. We will go deeper on this application later because it's widely extended in Spain and we have deep knowledge about receipts, processing. We believe this is a good idea for your market because we haven't seen it. And the key factors are health, children nutrition, on the go, and we think we can match a lot with the requirements of your population. Yeah. In this case, the product is sugar and lactose free, and it is produced by one of the major manufacturers in Spain, Zumos Palma. The customer came to Blendhub looking for protein stability, but they wanted very low viscosity and of course, the technical support. We offered them a stabilizer system based in a selection of a specific pectin, and they came to work with us in our pilot plant to develop their recipe and measure the stability and the shelf life using the lumicizer. Now this product is a bestseller in Spain. This secondly was a challenging product. Yeah, this international customer, this AMC, but they work for many countries in the globe. They were looking for a very high protein content, more than 5% in a low pH medium. We could finally fulfill the customer requirements by using a selected microparticulate whey protein in combination with a very, very robust pectin. We could achieve the desired stability and viscosity they were looking for. This one is a nectar from a customer in Colombia, Alpina. They were looking for a clean label stabilizer to comply with the local regulation. And our formulation based on pectin and citric fiber fits the requirements. We did together many trials, and finally the viscosity provided by the stabilizer enhanced the mouthfeel gap that was left as a result of a sugar reduction. Yeah. This one is a food recipe we developed in Blendhub. Here we were using our almond milling powder as a vegetable base. It could be done with our coconut milk powder also. We are offering it to some customers currently, yeah. And it was blended with juice, acidified with juice. This recipe is challenging and requires the customer to follow the right process steps along with choosing the right stabilizer to avoid the phase separation and the vegetable protein precipitation. Now we will see two slides about our products in Latin, in Mexico and Colombia, and these beverages are plant-based milks using our vegetable drinks in powder. The first one is almond. This is our basic, but we have another, for example, a blend of almond, cashew, and macadamia nut. This is from the Grupo Lala, but in Colombia we have other brands like Team, Alpina, or Gloria that they are using our almond milking powder. It's named Almond Spray. Of course, they are using also our stabilizer to stabilize the product, and we help them with the technical support to stabilize and launch the product successfully according to their factories. They use different almond spray that we will see later. We will explain later what is that deeper. But it's another one where fortified with soy or pea protein. If you, Olivia, wants to say a couple of words about the range around the world, or if not,
No,
we can go.
just wanted to say that this is the small sample of what we are doing. We have selected actually only the samples related with the main customers and to the applications we are going to see more in details right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, now we will see a couple of specific applications. The first one is acidified milk drinks. As we mentioned earlier, we believe that it's a good idea for your market, and we can give you much support in the development, stabilization, or launching of the product. The basic idea is a milk base. It can be animal milk or plant-based milks coming from powder or coming from liquid, and acidified with juice. That makes a low pH beverage between 3.8 and 4.1 pH. Yeah. It's well known that when we reduce the pH in a protein base, casein or plant protein, a precipitation happens. It is because when we acidify the medium and we don't have a stabilizer inside, the casein micelles break its charge protection and aggregates, as we see in the graph, and the big particle size makes the precipitation happen. The organoleptic characteristic change, and the product have a clarification and sedimentation, and a very grainy mouthfeel. When we use a stabilizer, the most common is the high methoxyl pectin, but we have selected types of CMC that have a different profile, slightly more viscous and different. And this stabilizer protects the casein micelles and make an electric repulsion between them that avoid the aggregation and therefore a high particle size and the precipitation. Now we will see a video of our pilot plant where you can see an example of how should we do this application. We will follow the steps and the phases. The phase A is the low pH phase. It's basically the juice or the juice drink where we measure the pH and we acidify it. We have like phase A, the low pH phase. We check the pH and we add the necessary citric acid to have the final drink that we want, 3.8 or 4.1. Then after blending everything, we can adjust, but we need to go more or less to the pH we want. The second phase would be the stabilizer phase. We disperse the stabilizer in sugar because the sugar has higher particle size and it helps us to disperse the stabilizer in water. If your product do not contain sugar, it's not a problem because with a high stirrer we can disperse easily the stabilizer in water. In this case, we are using pectin to make the stabilization, so the pectin needs to be heated up until 80 degrees to be hydrated. We can disperse it in cold, but it needs to reach 80 degrees to be hydrated. If we will choose the CMC, it's not necessary to reach 80 degrees because the CMC is cold soluble. But in this case, we use the pectin. We only need to reach 80 degrees. We don't need to go down or maintain in 80 degrees more than 5 or 10 minutes. No, it just reach 80 degrees, and if everything is well dispersed, the protein will be hydrated. Then we cool down to 20-25 degrees if we are using it directly, but if not, we can go to 4 or 6 degrees and maintain during one day. we blend the phase B to the phase C, we are acidifying our solution of stabilizer. We can store it for later. And now we will go with the last phase. In this case, we are preparing a neutral phase with skimmed powder, but it can be done with our almond mini powder, for example. We disperse with sugar because this recipe contains sugar, and we disperse it in water during 10 minutes at 45, 50 degrees. It makes, this hydration makes the protein, all the protein that is contained in the powder available to be protected by the pectin once this medium is acidified. With 10 minutes of hydration is enough. If we are using a liquefied base, a vegetable liquefied base, this step is not necessary. When we have everything in solution, we can cool down and store the same for 1 day maximum, because we can produce this amount of solution for different batches, but control always the microbiological parameters. Now we are making the last, blending everything. We are adding the neutral phase over the acidified phase, low pH phase with the stabilizer. We are adding it very, very slow because we are sure that each protein that goes to the acid phase changes very fast the pH and is being protected. Now we are adjusting the pH and the bricks if it's necessary, and we go through the UST line. It's necessary to homogenize at 180 bar, at least one step, to be sure that the pectin and other protein is available. And the pasteurization can be as you want, independent of the shelf life that you want, but we are having a low pH beverage, so with 95 degrees we think is enough. Here is where we reproduce all the factory's parameters. We fill in aseptic bottles, and after 24 hours do the organoleptical evaluation, we measure the pH, we do the shelf life studies, and we control how the stabilizer works on that recipe, for example. And this was the last I wanted to mention about this first application, acidifying drinks.
So, as you've seen, sorry, I had it. As you've seen in the previous slides where we showed you some market samples, there are quite a few examples of dairy alternatives. The demand for dairy-based alternatives has really transformed a niche category into a mainstream market, creating a global opportunity for food and beverage manufacturers to really diversify their offering. Blendhub recognized this trend some years ago and decided to invest in finding solutions within the category for our customers. Before we go into the details of what we have to offer, let's take a quick snapshot of who is actually driving this category. I don't know whether we have any marketeers in the audience, but I'm sure most of you know that marketeers really love to categorize customers and consumers into brackets for more targeted marketing. We therefore hear names like the baby boomers, millennials, Z-Gen, flexitarians, etc. So you see in this graph, there's the mention of millennials and Z generation. If you're born between 1981 and 1986, so you'd be between 24 to 39 right now, you're considered to be a millennial. And anyone who's born after 1997 is part of the new generation most commonly referred to as Generation Z. A survey that was conducted by YouGov and Whole Food Market found that 63% of millennials are actually trying to incorporate plant-based foods into their diet. And with millennial population making up 28% of the MENA's region's population, this is the largest number of young people to transition to adulthood in the region's history. This actually presents a great opportunity for companies to enter the market. When we add to this the Z generation, the younger ones, who thanks in part to internet are more informed of the impact of the past generations on planet Earth. As a result, ethical and environmental factors are more heavily weighed amongst younger generations, and they're actively looking to make healthier choices for more sustainable and healthy food. As consumer interest in dairy alternatives climbs, so too does production of such products. And we saw that launches of dairy alternative beverages have more than doubled globally since 2012. Almond spray has been mentioned in the video before. So what is it? Almond spray is actually our versatile solution for almond milk. Traditionally, if people want to make nut milks in their company, they would either have to go through the whole process of soaking the nuts, grinding them, filtering them to actually obtain the milk, or use a nut paste as a base. Both of these have their own production and handling challenges. So at Blendhub, we were able to develop an easy-to-use nut powder range made by spraying the nut paste onto a carrier. The resulting product is free-flowing, easy to handle, and can be fortified with additional plant proteins or any other functional ingredients. Our product facilitates our customers into entering the global plant-based trend, allowing customers to make locally produced high-quality almond milk or other nut milks in order to compete with international brands. Almond spray is suitable not just for milk drinks, but you can also use it to prepare fermented products, desserts, sauces, so potentially could launch a whole new range of these products in the market. Almond spray is beneficial because it's gluten-free, lactose-free, cholesterol-free, so fits the boxes that the millennials and Z generation is looking for because it's 100% vegan. It has it can be added with additional sources of soya or pea in order to give you the high protein products. It can be with maltodextrin, dextrose, or other carriers. Here we will see an example of the differences between using the almond paste versus the almond powder. We have developed this product specifically to be used in a UHT line, but it can be made as a pasteurized product as well. The product is very easy to handle, as we can see in the video, not only in the differences of dispersion, but also in terms of how you are able to manage it within production, the cleaning and storage conditions are all more favorable.
We will explain you how to make your own almond milk. We will see later a short video of our pilot blend, as we have shown with a acidified milk drink. But this is a very simple recipe. The base can be almond spray. You can use between the use level you want. It depends on the cost of the final drink you want. We have customers using from 5 to 15% of almond spray in their final drinks. You need at least 0.3% of our Primitex XLB 6018 to be sure that all the system will be suspended and you will not have any phase separation. And the rest is water. You can add sugar if you prefer, you can add flavors, but you can add cocoa powder or other flavors if you want. It's very easy. You just mix almond spray with water, pass through a UST and fill the products in your line. It is a very useful product to launch local product and make the play in your market against the big brands you will find in the supermarket. We will see this video where I will explain you. It's easy to use in our plant. There are different ways to prepare, but this is the most complete that helps you to use the lowest amount of stabilizer. This is the case we hydrate separately the stabilizer. The stabilizer contains gel and gum, so we need to reach 88 or 90 degrees to hydrate it. We can go directly or we can hydrate it during 10 minutes. If you can do 10 minutes, you will be sure that everything will be hydrated and you need a very low use level. The phase B is the plant-based milk, where we use the part of the water of the recipe and we disperse. It's easy to disperse, as we will see in some seconds, the almond spray in water. We disperse it at 55 or 75 degrees during 10 minutes to be sure that everything is dispersed, the paste is dispersed, and everything is ready to be passed through the UST line. Once the stabilizer is hydrated, we blend it directly with the almond spray solution. We can do both together, but as I have mentioned, you should increase just a little bit the amount of stabilizer if your factory do not allow the separation of both. And then we go to the UST treatment, preheating of 80 degrees, homogenization in 2 steps in this case. And the main heat has to be high, 140, because we are in a neutral pH beverage, so we need to apply a high temperature to be sure that everything will be sterilized if we want a long shelf life of our product. And then, of course, fill in an aseptic line, and we can maintain it at room temperature if everything is well UHT treatment. Yeah.
Besides almonds, we have solutions for other nuts, including cashews and macadamia. Our latest product is the coconut powder, with the oats and cereals coming very, very soon. Carmen mentioned while she was showing you the video that the milk and the almond powder can be added, can be used with additional materials like cocoa. Today we see the most common nut milks, especially in our region, are products that are generally of the plain variety. So we believe that there is a great opportunity to launch flavored versions with popular local flavors like mango and date, as well as the more established ones like strawberry, chocolate, vanilla. Blendhub can help you be the first to launch these products into the market and really establish your place with the consumers as being able to offer them the whole range of choices. Olivier, would you like to talk about the success story that we had?
Yes, very briefly, because I see that we're running short on time. So this is the example of the product we've launched in the South American market. So Carmen was mentioning about Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador, Argentina, so different places. And this is exactly the solution we're offering now to the Middle East market, because we believe that the situation is very similar. So considering the South American market, where the traditional milk was not a product, let's say, affordable for the vast majority of people. Recombined milk was a very increasing category. But the let's say vegan trend was there. With our solution, we were able to attack the local producers who could compete very easily against all the imported products. And as you can see, the example of soy, and it's Lala in this case, taking 30% of market share in year one with those solution of almond powder and our stabilizer. So really, and I believe that's what's happening now in the region, increasing of import taxes to finished goods. I believe it's the right moment for all of you to launch that category of products.
And here, just to mention 2 words about the stabilization of the plant-based milks that we have talked a lot on top of the video, but just to tell you that the basic stabilizers we use for this application are based on emulsifier that avoid the ring fat separation in the beverage, and the gel and gum, which provides the desired suspension and stability. I want to tell you that the stabilizer can be adapted to the viscosity and the mouthfeel profile that all the customer wants. It's not fixed.
So maybe, I mean, as I was saying just before, we are to say, maybe what I suggest, I can show you very briefly what is our Indian hub from the inside with a 3D experience. Just a brief snapshot. As you understood, all of our hubs are based on the same setup, the principle of global food safety quality standards. So if you look at this image, and this is really from our Indian hub, so but this is the same that you can find in any other place. This is the PPB, so the blending unit with a 3-station. So the loading station on the left, the blending station in the middle, and the filling station on the right side. To the fact that we have the possibility to inject liquids, so from very liquid products with low viscosity like flavors to very thick products, and we were mentioning the almond paste. We have the capacity to instantaneize proteins by injecting lecithin. So this is an extremely versatile tool in a very limited and protected environment. That's with metal detector at the end of the line and fulfilling all the highest standards of quality. Maybe a few more. Yeah, this is our warehouse for the storage of the finished good and the raw material. Maybe a few more.
You want to see
the possibility that we have. Sorry.
The small sachet packing area.
Absolutely, the small sachets line that we have the possibility to produce those products in our Indian hub. So we are delivering actually for the fast food chains in India small sachets of mixes for ice cream and desserts, and they are produced here in this factory. So basically, the reason why I wanted to show you this video, this 3D video, was to make it real, tangible. There's no difference of quality from India and from the rest of the world. This is the highest standard of quality, and the reason why I'm showing obviously the Indian hub is because the raw material and the products we are delivering to the Middle East market are mainly coming from Spain when it's about protein blends, and India when it's about the beverage blends. So I think we reached the end of this webinar. I would like, in the name of all the team, to thank you for your time and attention. I hope you found this session useful, and there was a lot of concepts, and I hope this gave you confidence that with a partner like Blendhub by your side, you can be assured of the full technical support, cost-effective solution, and highest standards of quality. really our mission of making nutritious food affordable and sustainable by optimizing the food value chain and by empowering local communities is only possible with business partners like yourself. So please be in touch with us, our affiliate partners, for any question or queries, and we definitely look forward to establishing a successful partnership together. Thanks a lot.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.